Hey guys, it's Lola. Welcome to my channel, and did you know that it's May? Yes, that's right, it's May already. Somehow it's May 2025. Next month is June, which is my birthday, by the way, and marks halfway through the year, so we're almost halfway through 2025. How the hell did that happen? Anyway, what is so important about May? Why am I talking about May? Well, it hit me like a truck because just a couple of weeks ago, I was thinking about the upcoming art challenge Mermay and how I was so excited for it, and then all of a sudden it literally just was May the 1st. There's a special place in my heart for Mermay, so we're going to be doing some Mermay art throughout the video today, but I don't just want to talk about Mermay in this video, I also want to talk about all of the other art challenges in existence, so things like Inktober, for example, which is probably the most famous art challenge where you draw every day for the month of October, and there's an official prompt list, and originally you were meant to draw it in ink, but now people kind of just participate in whatever medium they want, but you're meant to draw for the prompt every day. There's a couple other famous ones as well, like Peachtober is a very famous custom Inktober list. There's lots of different custom Inktober lists, like Witchtober, for example, as well. And then there's also other challenges, things like Huevember, where you draw an artwork of a different hue every day, and then you have some nice monochromatic pieces that all form a big rainbow at the end. Anyway, I want to talk about all of these challenges because I think art challenges can be so fun, and when I think about doing them I'm always really excited, and I think this is the year I'm finally going to do Inktober. So I'm very excited about the idea of doing these challenges, but often I find that when the actual month comes up and it comes to actually doing the challenge, I'm like, actually, never mind. I don't want to do this anymore, and I want to talk about why that happens and talk about the general culture on the internet around things like Inktober and other famous art challenges, and the general nature that people forget about these challenges sometimes, which is that they're just meant to be fun. So today we're going to be talking a little bit through my process with Mermay, but we're also going to talk about how to actually participate in art challenges and have them be fun. We're going to talk about the purpose of them, what they're really for, what people misinterpret them as being, and how people put unnecessary pressure on themselves and burn out. And we're going to talk about a lot of tips about ways that you can make these challenges actually fun and not feel draining and not feel like a chore and actually feel like something that you really want to do. And these tips might not also just, apply to doing these challenges, but as well in general about how you can make art fun, because sometimes art does feel like a chore. But before we get into the tips and stuff and the topic of these videos, let's just take a look at this absolutely amazing Mermay 2025 official prompt list, because when I saw this I was very excited. There are so many prompts on here that I love and I'm so excited to do. First of all, I do think that the prompt Miyazaki is so funny. Like, what do you mean? Do you want me to draw Miyazaki as a mermaid, like shirtless with a trident just as a mermaid? That mental image is so funny to me. I know it probably means like Miyazaki's art style, okay? They probably mean that they want you to do some kind of Studio Ghibli style or inspired mermaid, but that's boring, okay? I'm just having fun picturing that loads of people on this day are just gonna draw Miyazaki as a mermaid, and I also feel like it's funny because knowing the type of person he is, I kind of low-key feel like he would absolutely hate that. But we have some really other interesting prompts as well, like the theme cosmic. So basically I'm just gonna pick and choose a couple of these prompts that I'm gonna do in this video. So we're gonna do cosmic, and oh my god, of course we are gonna do beach goth. When I saw that, as soon as I saw that, I was like, I don't know what that means, but I need to search beach goth on Pinterest and I need to do that one. There's also the prompt clown, which I think is funny, a clown mermaid. I'm not going to do that one in this video, but I might do that for fun at some point. And for the prompt hair, I think I'd honestly do a bald mermaid, because usually mermaids are famous for having really long, luscious locks of hair which floats around them beautifully as they swim, and I just think it would be really funny to just make a shiny, bald-headed mermaid. So I might do that. I'm not doing that in today's video, but we're gonna do the prompts cosmic, we're gonna do the prompt psychedelic, we're gonna do the prompt beach goth, and of course Miyazaki as a mermaid as well. So the first one I'm starting here is beach goth. The first thing I did was look for inspiration of what goths wear on the beach, and surprise surprise, it's black. So I started by doing a digital sketch. This is my general process now. I don't really like sketching on paper because I like to change a lot as I sketch, and you can't really change a lot on paper because there's only so many times that you can erase before it just kind of refuses to erase anymore and leaves dents in the pages. And sometimes I just want to change things around, get in there with the liquify tool. So lately I've been drawing a lot on digital, and then I've been using my tablet as like a light box to trace over it to traditional, and then I'm using watercolor, color pencils, acrylic markers, etc. So while I draw this lovely big titty beach goth mermaid girlfriend for you, of course I had to give her big titties because I felt like that's part of them. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about art challenges. So I think a lot of people have the mindset that something like Inktober is really a way to prove yourself. It's a huge challenge within the art community, and I think that being able to actually go through and draw every day all these 30 prompts for 30 days is a really big improvement. Did I say 30? It's 31, isn't it? Yes, it is 31, even better. So yeah, I certainly know that if I achieve that, which I never have because I always never do Inktober even though I say I will, but I'd be very proud if I did complete that. And I think there's a lot of reasons why people are drawn to these challenges. There's things like the fact it offers you structure and discipline. There's daily prompts, a set time frame, and I feel like people think that that will really help to keep them consistent and make more art and be more productive, and they think I'm going to grow so much, learn so much in this time. And then there's also that community aspect, and it feels like it might be a really great way to join in on something bigger than yourself and maybe boost your social media portfolio as well. But then with these kinds of challenges there tends to be a lot of problems, so then people put a lot of pressure on themselves, and when they fail or miss a day they tend to feel frustrated in themselves. So I think there just needs to be a couple mindset perspective shifts. Like, first of all, these art challenges are tools, not tests. So challenges like Mermay or Inktober are meant to inspire you, but they are prompts, they're not performance reviews. There's no winning at an art challenge. If you complete all the days, it doesn't make you a better artist than someone who did 5, because even though it might feel like it sometimes, it's not a contest. It's just about what you got from it, whether you drew more or drew something interesting outside of what you would usually draw that you might not have thought of otherwise. Otherwise, the goal is just growth, not perfection. Even if you only do a couple pieces, if you enjoyed yourself or learned something, then the challenge worked. So I think it's important to remember that the progress matters more than the output. Also, it's really useful to remember that missing days doesn't equal failure, skipping prompts or taking a break isn't cheating. Life gets in the way, you might be really busy or you're just not feeling a prompt and you try it and it just doesn't work and you don't end up finishing that piece because it's just not turning out right. That's fine. If you take a break, it's self-care, life happens, and the challenge will wait for you. I mean, you could literally do prompts from Inktober 2019 this year if you wanted to. You could just go back and finish it. So, you know, it being daily is just a suggestion. The original intent is for it to promote consistency, but not to make you feel overwhelmed. If daily is too much for your schedule, or you're maybe just not a fast enough artist to work on a piece daily, that's absolutely fine. Maybe you should just switch it to just weekly, or even bi-weekly, or just whenever you feel like it. Maybe just pick up 1 or 2 prompts that you like off the list, do them whenever you feel like it. And there's always different alternative lists as well, and some of those have like weekly prompts, so they only have like 4 prompts, or it's like they have a prompt every 3 days instead of every day. So I have a couple strategies to try and make it easier so you can do what I'm doing here, which is picking and choosing the prompts that you actually like. If I went through and did all of these prompts, I mean, the first prompt for Mermay 2025 is mirror, which that just does not inspire me at at all. The second one, Cosmic, does. The third one is Hair. Again, I don't really think I generally do that one. I'm probably not going to do it unless I do decide to do a shiny bald-headed mermaid, but I'm not going to force myself to do prompts that I don't like or am not inspired by. You don't have to follow the whole list. You can just select the few prompts that genuinely excite you and make you want to create a piece and skip the rest. Guilt-free, you don't need to do them in order either. There's also tips like combining prompts into one piece so you can merge multiple days into a single artwork if a couple of them feel like they fit together and might add it together into a nice piece. That would be a good way to technically do the challenge and still do all the prompts without drawing as much. You can also adapt the prompts to fit your style or comfort zone, so if a prompt feels awkward or outside of your vibe, you can just interpret it in your own way. For example, let's say there's the prompt Peach for Mermaid. This time around, you could go ahead and design a whole peach-based mermaid, peach-inspired. She could be sitting on a peach, or you could literally just take that colour and just put it in the hair or something. You can be as maximalist or as minor with the prompt as you like. You can also take an old piece that you never finished for a mermaid and just redraw it or complete it, so that would count as well, still as finishing a mermaid piece for Mermay. Or you can make things more fun by getting even more involved in the community. That might be quite helpful as well. So if you get into a little group, maybe with your friends or a couple of artists online who are all sharing their pieces virtually, then it adds to that community aspect, might make it more fun and encouraging as you share your work with others, get compliments. You can also do other things to make it work as well, like work it into an existing project of yours, like say for the prompt Mirror, let's say that was in Inktober, you know, you could draw your OC holding a mirror, or draw a fan art of a character that you want to draw anyway holding a mirror, or, you know, for Mermay, let's say you could draw your OCs or popular characters as mermaids. Whatever it is that would spark your joy and inspire you in the first place, you can like work it into those prompts. You can also batch work on easier days, so if you're having a good art day, you can just draw more prompts. You don't necessarily have to draw every day, that's completely up to you. And I always say as well, remember that it's okay to quit midway through if the challenge becomes stressful. Just drop it. You're not flaky, you're prioritizing your mental energy. I really like having a prompt if it inspires me, but if it's not a prompt that I'm into, then it feels like a horrible chore. I just don't want to do it, and I think that's absolutely fine. That's not shameful or failing, that's just smart to save your energy, work on the things that you really want to, and these art challenges should refill you, inspire, give you that creative energy, not make you feel burned out. And if it's just driving you nuts every single day, just pause. That's a signal that you should pause. And you know, you don't even have to do these challenges if you don't want to, but if you want to draw a mermaid, go ahead for Mermay. But speaking of Mermay, let's actually talk about mermaids. So let me know in the comment section, have you done Mermay in the past? Will you be doing it this time around? And if you do, what are your plans? What prompts are you excited for? And if you want to, but you won't, let me know what's getting in the way of that. I'd also be really interested to know how many people actually do Inktober, and then how the many of you who might have actually attempted Inktober, who has actually succeeded, because I think seeing those comments would also make people feel a little bit better if you're kind of like me and you kind of start and do one or two and then completely drop it. Or maybe you're amazing and you want to brag in the comments like, yeah, I just did Inktober for 10 years in a row, 31 days easy, and I do Huevember and I do this and I do Mermay. Like, if so, give me your free time. Power to you for having that free time. But anyway, I think we should talk a little bit more about this piece that I've been working on. And if you're wondering, hey, do you regret adding that purple outline on the edge of your soft pencil drawing? If you were wondering that, the answer is yes. I don't know what made me think that this would look better, but yeah, it did not. Okay, big update with this art piece. I added a lot to it, so I was planning to cut some black paper out of my sketchbook, my other sketchbook, my grabby sketchbook, which I did a sketchbook tour of recently. If you want to go watch it, it's here. But I yoinked some paper out of that because I knew that this would pop so much better on some black paper, added in loads and loads of extra elements, things floating around, all of these little decorational pieces on the side, which I think really add to this overall psychedelic look. So I'm happy with where this turned out. It was kind of a trust the process while I was working on it. I was like, look, you'll figure it out, girl. Because initially I wanted it to be really soft pastel, almost colors. Didn't work out. But it's an experiment, so I've been inspired a lot by this artist for many years. Apologies for boobs, I guess I'll just cover her boobs. But this is this French artist. He has such a way with colour. He makes all of these with like these little pens, you know, like little gel pens, just like that, coloured, which is crazy. That's not a gel pen. I don't know what you'd call it. Oh, there you go. That's what you'd call it, a fine liner. Hello camera, please focus. Fine liner colour pen, and he does that kind of thing, or maybe they're biros. I think it actually says at the beginning of the book. Anyway, point is, very inspired by his rainbow kind of pieces, and these, I was like, psychedelic, that makes me think that I need to try my hand at making something inspired by this guy. And wow, look at the difference. Like, now I've shown you this and I'm going back to this, you're like, it looked good when I was showing it on its own, right? But yeah, this is my moon inspired piece. And I actually did another piece for this video, guys. This is my cosmic inspired piece, so that was the other prompt that I did, but I didn't want this video to get too long, so if you want to see more of this piece and how this progressed and learn a bit more about this, please hit the subscribe button, because I will release a short that shows the process of this and my thought process. So theme was cosmic, and yeah, the idea was that my OC, my Sona for this channel, Luna, she is moon themed, so I drew her as a mermaid, which was really fun, and she turned out super cute. If you want to see that, you know what to do. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys, and these videos take a while to produce, so if you found any of the tips in this video helpful and you got to the end, I always just ask if people can drop a star emoji in the comment section. It really helps so much with boosting this video in the algorithm, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys!